Hello, Winterpock. It's Joe Elias. I hope you're having a really, really good day. Hey, I'd like to take a second and say thanks to everybody who showed up for our meeting on Tuesday. I was really, really happy to see you turn out with your ideas and thoughts. I think everybody that showed up expressed some interest, had some questions, brought up some ideas. So we've got a lot of notes to share. I really, really enjoyed the conversation. We talked about a lot of really interesting things. And what was something that was really important to me was I realized that there was a little bit of a gap between what I thought was reality and what reality actually was. There's a bit of a space in the middle. And that was with some of the understanding of how the PTA operates, what kind of help we really need, and what we do inside of the school. So, one of the commitments that I'm going to make is to spend more time telling you about the things we're doing and some of the behind the scenes to make those things work. That seemed to spur a lot of the conversation on Tuesday. And so we're going to spend more time doing that so that you can better understand how we function, so that you can find the right place and time to plug in. There were a lot of new requests and new ideas that came up that were really, really exciting. And we want to find ways to put as many of them to work this year as possible. With the low number of volunteers that we have right now, with a couple spots on the board empty, it would be really easy for us to label this a rebuilding year and just take it real slow, only do a couple things, and really just put anything that we want to do new into the year after this. But between you and I really don't want to do that. My kids only have a couple years in elementary school, and then they're gone off to middle school, obviously, and the rest of their lives. So I don't know that I can really afford a rebuilding year. Can you? So if you don't want to have a rebuilding year this year, if we really want to turn up the volume and get moving very quickly, we're going to need a band together. Now, we've updated the website for Winterpock PTA, and one of the pages on there now has a list of all of the different groups and committees that we have open at the moment, so that you can plug in and find a place that may be a good fit for you. Now, volunteering for a committee doesn't mean you're going to be in charge of everything. It doesn't mean you're going to be left holding the bag so that you've got to figure it all out. You're going to get a lot of support. We've got a lot of cool things that are going to make it easier to function as part of the PTA volunteer operation this year. One of which is a program called Workplace, which is essentially a private Facebook for us. Every committee gets a private group, and it's a really simple place to talk about ideas, load files, set calendar dates. You can do all your work. Then if you need help, put your hand up, and then the board can see all the information, and we can support you there as well. We're using that already, and it's making things a lot simpler. So you're going to have access to some cool tools to make things go more smoothly this year. We're getting ready to start publishing dates for some of our keystone activities, as well as the types of volunteers that we need for those events. One thing that I've heard time and time again is that parents who are working full-time want to help. Now, some of them want to be able to take time off so that they can come to these events and be a supportive in-person volunteer. So in order to enable you to do that, we're going to publish these dates as far out into the future as possible. Now, some of you want to be able to send things in. So for that as well, we're going to provide the list of all the things that we need and give you the opportunity to sign up as quickly as possible so that you can get ready to be able to help us. However you want to help, we'll find a way for you to help, okay? We're not going to try and do the round peg, square hole, square peg, round hole. Whichever one doesn't work. We don't want to try it that way. We're going to be talking about some new ways for us to have conversations. So we had our July meeting, and so as an example, there was a swim meet Tuesday night. So everybody that was at the swim meet couldn't be at the PTA meeting. I got a lot of people that really wanted to come but just couldn't because they had a swim meet. Our next meeting is September 5th. Well, that's the first week of school. That's a big gap. And so there was some frustration in the meeting that we talked about all these ideas, and then the next time we're going to talk, school's already going to be in session. So what we'd like to do is get a couple dates on the calendar between now and then where we can have some informal meetups, okay? We're going to create a new committee, our volunteers committee, which is going to help coordinate everyone, right? So you're going to help us overall with the ideas. Actually, maybe even think of this as a programs committee, because we're going to come up with a list of all the things that we're doing, and then this committee is going to help kind of direct and guide everybody else to find a really good spot, okay? I'd like to work with every single person who wants to volunteer and support the PTA. Realistically, that may not always happen, so this committee is going to help us do that more effectively. But in these informal meetups that aren't going to be formal business meetings, we're going to be able to talk about our plans, find a way to pick a couple things that we really want to get going right now, and make those work. whether they be programs that happen in the school, whether they be things that happen outside of school hours. If it's something that you want to do, we're going to find a way to make it work if there's a general consensus. Okay, so look for those informal meetups between now and September so that we can get together, get some things going, and really make things happen. Other big announcement. There is a change in the communication chain of command for PTA this year. You may know that the Winterpock Parents Elementary School Parent Chat page on Facebook has been an unofficial group for some time. This was initially created by a couple parents who were having trouble finding the answers to questions that they had about their kids' school. And so they figured, well, if we create a group and we bring a bunch of parents together and we ask those questions, maybe someone will have an answer. So I think that was done with absolute goodness, and there was an idea that this is going to help support the community and make things better. And a lot of questions have been answered. I've been a part of that group for a very long time, ever since my son started kindergarten. And unfortunately, when something like that exists outside of the chain of command, I guess, it's difficult to really provide resources to support it. So what happened was this group that existed out of goodness and wanted to help parents get their questions answered inevitably ran into some trouble. And that trouble painted a bad picture, and there was all sorts of issues, and it was really just a bit chaotic. So one of the things that we're doing this year, as we are now sponsoring, as the PTA, we are sponsoring the parent chat page. So we've got a new photo up at the top with the school picture and with the PTA sponsored logo on it. We are providing a team of moderators who are going to help that group out. So here's the idea. Here's how we want things to work. Whether you are a member of the PTA or not, when you come to that page, you'll see an announcement with the rules and a couple online resources. The website for the school, the website for the PTA. We'd like you to use those things first. Okay? Try and find the information there. Try and find the information from the weekly emails that the principal sends out. If the information's not there, we'd like you to go to the group chat page and ask your questions. Okay? Our communications committee, our moderators, are going to help you find the right answers. And if your question wasn't answered somewhere else, we're going to add that question and the right answer to the website for wherever it should fit. The hope is over time, as more questions get more answers, we will have a better, more robust set of resources and frequently asked questions so that you're not left in the dark. We heard in the meeting that there are like 1,700 different websites and things for you to try and go find information on. We want to try and bring that together and make it a little simpler. So don't feel like asking questions at that group page isn't going to get you an answer at all or the wrong answer. We're going to commit to getting you the right answer when you need help. Now, let's talk about some other things that have been going on in that group from time to time, okay? So there are a couple new rules. First and foremost, we are a community of peers. Our kids all go to school together. We need to make sure we act accordingly. One of the things we're not going to support going forward is any negativity statements about the faculty, the staff, the programs, or any parents. That's not the place for it. If you feel like you need to have a conversation with somebody because they've done something wrong or something that you don't appreciate or don't believe in, have that conversation with them. Okay, the group chat page is not the place for that. Additionally, we are going to be ramping up the security measures to get into that group. However, there is no 100% proven way to guarantee that every member in that group is the actual parent of a student at that school. So, because of that, we have to treat that group like we're standing in the middle of, say, Target, having a conversation. So, anything that is shared in that group cannot reference individual students or schedules that would allow somebody walking by us and having this conversation in Target to be able to identify where a student or a group of students are at any given time. And that'll make more sense as we go along, but that's going to be really important. Okay, we're not discussing students' names. We're not discussing where they're going to be or where they've been, schedules, etc. We'll, if you have questions or if you need some of that information, the moderating team will help you find that support. Okay, so we're going to connect all those things together. And no, if you're not a member of the PTA yet, you're not going to get kicked out of the group. It is for parents of Winterpock, PTA or otherwise. We want to do our best job as your PTA to support you, so you'll want to join us in the next year. You'll want to become a member. You'll want to participate and see all the good and wonderful and exciting things that we're doing as part of our PTA. So there's going to be more exciting changes coming. I hope you have a really good weekend. And if you have any questions or comments about any of the information covered on this video, just drop it in the comments below and we'll have a conversation. All right? Have a really good day. Bye-bye.